I do. Well then, let's build it, you and I. What? I said, why don't we...
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Takara MP58 Masterpiece Hoist. Yes, we finally get a Masterpiece Hoist. Finally. But I'm going to do some comparisons to this to the other third parties that have come out, and we'll go through all of this transformation and all of the accessories and everything with this. Now, I did get this at Show Z Store. I'll have a link down below where you can get yours. Of course, TX Reviewer code if you want to help out the channel. But let's get in and take a look at this, talk about the good and the bad, and how it kind of fits in with the previous competition and your Masterpiece collection. Let's get in looking at this coming up. Here's the box and packaging. This is how it comes, just like that. All the great accessories in there. And the box, very Takara-ish. Looks like pretty much all their other Masterpiece boxes. Long life design. I remember when they didn't put that on there. And then, not really so much of that's in English, but you can see some pictures. And there you go with the packaging. Alright, so here is Hoist in his alt mode, and it looks like a Hoist to me. First thing I noticed when I pull it out is that it has a lot of paint. The paint just shines. It looks really good. It almost looks like a real paint job on a real car. It looks very good. I do want to say that the backpack is kind of multicolored, so I think maybe some of it might be painted, but it almost all just looks like bare plastic. This here isn't the same color as this here, and it's got a little bit of orangish. This is more yellowish. So right out the package, that's one downside, is just it's not all the same color on the backpack. You do see the vac metal kind of shining through on that. And nice tampograph right here for the on the hood for the Autobot symbol. And then pop up this hood in here. And you can see an engine, so that's some nice stuff and some paint in there. It's been so long. Is that a carburetor that's painted? What is it? They painted white there. And then put it back down, flip this back up. You got a nice chrome grill. Now we do have a cartoon grill. I'll show that here in just a second. I won't be swapping it though because I want to keep the back metal. And then you have this towing situation here, which is very simplified towing situation. Just kind of all the same stuff you saw in the G1 one, but of course, in Masterpiece, it looks good. Let's get into some of these gimmicks. Love it or hate it, they did make it to where you could sort of open the door, but not really. Now, I know a lot of people get upset about like the fact that there might be some way to open the door and it be more right. It looks like the windows rolled down. Oh, getting off. It looks like the windows rolled down, but once you open it, then it actually still has a wall there. So I don't think it was really intended as an opening door because it still has this thing here. But yeah, that's a thing. And it's like a roll down window in the top. It looks like it's almost got like a T-top. So it's weird how they did that. It really is weird how they did that. But maybe that is cartoon. I gotta go look at that. But then you have this little quarter piece of a window right there going on. That's a feature. Another feature is plugging in this claw piece here. Right there, like that. And let's get a little more height on the camera. And you can make this go up and down and articulate it around. And you can grab stuff if you want to. Will the claw hold Rumble? The Fans Toys Rumble. Yeah, it does. It holds the Fans Toys Rumble just fine. And he's kind of a hefty little guy there. But yeah, it holds it. So that works. Alright, so the next feature, we're going to have him towing Mirage, I guess. This is the MMC version of Mirage, which put that in place. So pretty much anything that you can just find, anything that will hold on to this clip, and that works fine. It kind of snaps up and down for that. And then the last thing we have is this bumper, which I remember it's probably the exact same dimensions and specification for the clipping on as we had with Trailbreaker. Trailbreaker, it was just a pain in the butt to get it off. Push it down, pull it out, and then push it in and put it. But it was really a pain to swap out, so I'm not going to bother swapping it out. That is a pain. But I had a little trouble on the Trailbreaker one with that. But anyway, There it is. Let's get into some good comparisons. First, we're going to compare to an Optimus Prime. This is the Mystical Circle, Magic Square. And as you can see, that's how it looks. I mean, does that seem about right? Yeah. Size-wise, scale, I think that fits okay. There he is, next to Fans Toys Sea Spray, MMC's Mirage there, and that is looking pretty good. Scale-wise, I think maybe the truck would be bigger than this. I think what does it matter? Just because I have them in the review space to compare, this is the Takara Hot Rod X Transbots Cup. Yeah, we don't really see these mixed too much on the screen, but there it goes. Wait, we're not done. I want to show them next to Big Load. X Transbots Big Load. There it is. That's a big load. Big truck. Does that scale properly? Maybe. Now to get in transformation, it's not really too bad, but there are some tricky parts to it. Let's push this down. Let's open this up. And which again, it's tricky in itself. Fold in these mirrors so you don't get them all messed up. And then we're going to open these doors. Again, pull them out, fold this in. Open. Darn it, open. So this gimmick they came up with here, well, one folds in real easy. This one is really tight. There's nothing you can really do with that right now. Then we're going to fold this around, lift this up, get this out of the way, close that back into there. We need to separate these rear pieces here. Like so. You can get all that up and atoms out of the way. Then we are going to have to, can we get that up higher? Yeah, we get that up higher. We're going to open these pieces. And so really interesting how they kind of did this. This is, the arms are inside the feet. So we're getting the feet out of here. So we've got to separate the arms from the feet. And then bring them down, which is interesting. Just really kind of an interesting way that they do that. Bring this down here. And then the way they have this whole section here, that's all weird too. That's kind of strange, this whole section. But let's make sure he can start standing on his own. 2 feet. Bring this down. Fold this toe down. Fold this up. Fold this up. So it's quite simple stuff going on here. Fold this down. Create the toe. Create the bottom footing. Create the back piece right there. Then we have to close that up. Double hinge this into place. We got some legs going on here. So we see the signature legs. Now he can stand on his own 2 feet. He's already standing. He's going to have to walk before he can run. That's for sure. Let's adjust the camera real quick. All right, so the arms can be a little bit on the tricky side. So we need to rotate. Got to get clearance and clear all that. And we're going to rotate this out on a double hinge on the arms. Both of the shoulders have the same little double hinge mechanism going on right there. Let's get these doors out of the way. So pull up on this slider joint, then fold it like this and fold it in, and they're just kind of out of the way so that they're not bothering us. Well, they're bothering me. That slider doesn't want to slide. Remember, there's paint, so there it goes. There it is. So that is out of the way there. Now the shoulders, we have to start kind of developing the shoulders. So folding this down, and then getting this up here. We need to develop what's going on here. So pull this out of the way. So we've got to untab it there, and then you can bring this joint to here, and then this folds out to kind of tab into this. Then this folds over and this folds over. And then we got to bring this piece here up. And then you're going to double joint it down into place and kind of create those parts there. Let's get all of this back working just right. Get it all into place. And then from there, we're going to kind of rotate the arm around. And then there's another joint to bring it out further. So, yeah, there's quite a few things going on with these arms. Maybe we're going to even do a little more with it here in a bit. But that's not a whole lot of fun. And it's not exactly, it doesn't feel like it's exactly right. But we'll get working on it just a little bit more on this other one. Let's work on this other side here. So we are going to kind of open that up a little bit. We're going to untab this hook piece that hooks it all in place. Then we are going to open this all up. This folds up, tabs in to here. See, and this is, it's tricky. It's just not wanting to tab in just right. There it goes. Then this folds over. The hook folds around. And then we have to take this and double joint it up into place. And from this side, it all starts to make sense. So you can kind of just start making the arm on both sides. And that starts to make sense why they did it the way they did it. From the back, it almost doesn't look right. But from the front, it looks right. And then we're going to get into this whole backpack situation here. And this backpack situation is a little bit interesting. We need to make room for this head. So the head is going to come, it's going to go all the way through it. It's strange how they did that also. So we are going to start by pushing in on this here. Then we're going to bring the head out. And around. Come on, you can fit through there. Why is it not wanting to fit? There it goes. Head fit through there. Then we recreate the collarbone, which is strange. Strange way to do it. Like this. So it feels like a whole lot of engineering going into something that should be a whole lot easier than this. But that's how they chose to do it. Kind of strange. But then you're going to have to get these two notches underneath the collarbone area. So that's going to be some fiddling to get that accomplished. Like that. And then from here, we are going to fold all of this out. And we start getting forming the hoist. I form the hoist. And then we are going to work on the rest of this. Backpack. Double joint the backpack up into place. And then this is going to come around like so. We have a slot and a tab right here. Get that lined up just right and tabbed in. He will hold together pretty good. And then a couple more cleanup pieces here and there. But for the most part, there he is. I'm going to go through and make sure everything's tabbed in just right. But for the most part, he's there. We've got his shoulders in place properly. And then his head's in place properly. And yeah, we're going to go look at him. Not too bad of a looking. Too bad a looking hoist? All right, here we go with a very cartoony looking hoist with a pretty decent paint job. And we'll be doing some comparisons here in a bit. But yeah, I guess he does really fit the bill for a Toon G1 cartoon hoist. Yeah, that works. Gets the job done for me. And with that, so there's some interesting stuff about it. I do like the VAC metal that we have on that. When we get to comparisons, we'll see, but I actually like the fact they're going Toon, the color and the way they went with these, that kind of grayish, not exactly a bright white, makes it look a little bit better, a little more premium than if they would have gone super bright white. We do kind of have an opening right here, which I'm not sure if I can move this door to fill that gap a little bit. Maybe I can do that, but it does still kind of feel like there's one way or another, there's going to be a bit of a opening gap there, but still presentation wise, it doesn't really take away from it that much. And he does look, with this whole section here, it does kind of look accurate the way it should be. Now I do like the chrome. I left that on there. And down here with the feet, when there's paint apps on the feet. Paint apps on the feet down here. The wheels on the side doesn't really bother me at all. But for the most part, the transformation's okay. Just the shoulders kind of seem a little bit strange. There's a lot of stuff that just feels like, is it really where it's supposed to be? And there is kind of an inside opening gap. There's no filler for the inside. I don't know if I'm getting that on there. Inside of the shoulder. But overall, pretty good looking. Maybe not perfect. I mean, it is the masterpiece, and it is Takara. But let's get into the accessories on this guy. Then we'll do some articulation. Then we'll do some comparisons. I think the comparisons are the most important part. With this gun he's got here, his gun arm, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. It goes in and out, or you can make it go as far as you want it to. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. But you also get this hammer that plugs into it. And you got that too, if that's the thing that you want to do. You also get blast effect. It's another thing that you get. If you want to use the blast effect on it, you can. That's okay. You can do that. And then, let's see. You also get a hand for it if you want to swap out the hand. I don't. I think that it's super part of Hoist to have the whole arm mechanism. His mechanical arm he's got going on there. Then we also get this. And it is called, the episode is called Hoist Goes to Hollywood, not all the other ones. So it comes with almost every other figure that was part of that scene, character from the scene, but he is the one that went there. So he's Aliens. And then you get a wrench, vac metallized wrench that he can hold, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the wrench, but it's cool looking, but I guess they got to win in the accessories department. There he goes. If you want to see him holding, if you ever had a dream of watching him hold a wrench, then you get another face, which I'm not going to swap out, but you just slide it out and slide it in. Pretty simple stuff. I think it's more of the toy face. I mean, not much different than what we see right here. Must get the light on it just right, but maybe more of a toy face, toy look. Not very different at all. Not really worth swapping out in my opinion. But those are the accessories. Alright, for comparison, this is the G1 from back in the day. Now mine's not complete. I'm not too worried about it. Paid $5 20 years ago or something. You can look and see that it does sort of kind of match the G1 in a way. I guess it does. I want to say that this is the reason that this dude looks so strange. Like the character itself looks so strange because the G1 looked so strange. And the animation actually sort of matched this figure a bit. But where we came from, where we are now, where are we going? I hope not any more hoists. Since Takara has been more or less making all of the Hasbro stuff, I don't usually compare it to Hasbro, but in this case, I want to show when they made the, was it Siege, Earthrise, whatever they were making, whatever they call this one, probably Earthrise. It has a waist. This one doesn't really have a waist. It's strange. It's strange. I'm sure it's different designers, but it's the same company designing the stuff. Just thought it'd be interesting to show kind of what they did in the main line versus Masterpiece. Here is the Takara Trailbreaker, and I gotta admit something about both these. They're both pretty light, pretty lightweight. They're lightweights. They don't look like lightweights, but for the size of the figure, it's extremely light. Same old thing over here, but I still think like both of them look really good. And at the end, I'll tell you which one I still am going to be putting in my display. So here he is next to MMC, which is the first one that I got. And when I looked at all of the other things that were out there, I think there was Bad Cube and there was something else. Bad Cube, made one. There was another one. And out of all of them at the time, this one looked the coolest. Still today, design-wise, it's a cooler looking robot, but it's not as accurate to the character, which I guess I will be having to place accuracy over coolness factor. Remember those old foil stickers? They don't stay on that well, but yeah, he's pretty cool. Now let's get him out of the way. Another masterpiece. The next one I got was X-Transbots. And I have to admit, X-Transbots is kind of light too. It's kind of lightweight also. But looking at them side by side, the X-Transbots one is fine. It's nice. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that like, oh, I like my X-Transbots. I don't need to do anything with this. Now, you do see some exposed hardware inside the window with the X-Transbots going on there. But definitely different shades of orange. Definitely different way they went about this. And just looking at them, I do like the Takara one better than the X-Transbots. But is it worth upgrading for this character? It really is truly up to you. And getting into Fans Toys. So which one looks better? They have so many similarities. Like the lower feet look almost identical with how they did it. And then going up to here, now they do actually have a waist piece. And I'm starting to think this, getting rid of that and doing it the way they did it might actually be a better design cue. It looks a little bit better. Maybe it's not accurate. I don't know 100%, but that's different. The color of green is a little different. This is more metallic. You can see like metallic speckles in it. And does it shine, glisten? Not really. But the paint, I kind of like the color of the paint on this better. And then the head's gigantic over here versus this head. The thing a lot of people complain about on Fans Toys is that this piece is just connected to the head instead of the way they did it over here. So there's a lot of wins for Takara on this. This piece from Fans Toys is super heavy. This piece here is real light. But I don't know, I'm starting to, as I look at this, I like the look of Takara better than the Fans Toys. I really do. It's going to be hard to kind of give up the Fans Toys as the main one in my display, but I might actually go with Takara in my display. There's the back. Now, Fans Toys cleans up. Fans Toys is a nice figure. It's solid. But, I don't know. I think Takara, in the end, aesthetically, might win this. And a nice little group shot here to send them packing. You got to have that clickbait thumbnail somehow, right? So, this might as well be here. But with that, I mean, nobody really should have this many hoists. Am I right? All right, so this is my look at the Takara Masterpiece hoist. And this one is the MP58. I think it looks pretty good. And it's one of those things that I was like, do I need another hoist? But it looks pretty cool. And I think that they did a good job with them overall. The transformations, it's not too horrible. The shoulders, I'm not going to lie, the arms kind of get me a bit. Like, it's a little confusing on the arm piece. But aside from that, pretty simple transformation for the legs and the rest of it. But good looking bot. Does not have waist swivel or ab crunch that I can see. But they did some interesting engineering. They did make a goofy looking dude a little less goofy, a little bit more, okay, that's kind of an okay looking bot. Do I like it better than Fans Toys? I think the look of it I like better. I like the feel of the Fans Toys better. The X-Transbots one I think is just getting a little dated. And although it's only a few years old, it's still getting a little bit dated. Negatives on this one, it is super lightweight. It has very little weight to it. But on the shelf, it actually doesn't matter. Something I'm starting to realize, it doesn't matter how much weight it's got to it if it looks good on the shelf. And Takara, of course, believes that too. And kind of the side area a little bit open, which I kind of understand to have the articulation for the shoulders is why they kind of look like they got like a T-top in the alt mode. But hey, the cool thing is you can put one of them in a different alt mode or whatever. But if you're trying to decide on one, I think this is a pretty good figure. If you want one, this is probably going to be the most tune accurate and decent looking of all of them. The MMC is still not a bad looking one. X-Transbot's not a bad one. Fans Toys isn't bad, but I kind of like this one the most right now. Maybe it's recency biased. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Titanium Hanger out. Go ahead and admit it. You thought I forgot to compare him to Optimus Prime. How could you forget to compare him to Optimus Prime? I know you were thinking, but there he is next to Optimus Prime.
Amazing grapple. A magnificent scientific accomplishment.
But we're oppressed. I'll be depressed.
Don't worry about it. Now, come on. I'll help you present it. Don't be so modest, Grapple. The real power will create gigawatts of energy and away we go!
I said, why don't we...
I heard you the first time, but you must have a glitch in your circuits. Optimus Prime said no!
We can't let the Decepticons intimidate us. Think of the end. Hoist, we're done.